fellow language learning nerds to a new My Japanese Bookshelf video, a little series in which I take a look at the Japanese books on my shelves and my table. There's always a bunch living on the table. Sometimes it will be on a book about learning Japanese, sometimes it will be a book in Japanese, but it will always be an excuse for me to talk about my books. Today's book will be Volume 1 of Yakusoku no Neverland, or The Promised Neverland. I mentioned it a couple times in recent videos, so as soon as I finished reading it not that long ago, I thought I might as well make it the focus of today's video. Before reading this particular volume, I had already read the whole story in English. Well, most of it. I had watched the first season of the anime adaptation, and when I got to the end of it, at the time, there was no season 2. And I still wish that were the case. So without any way to continue the story, but with a huge desire to know what happened next, I went running to the manga. Skipped to a while later and I found this volume in a bookshop and I just could not resist buying it for two reasons. One, I hadn't technically read the beginning, I had only watched the beginning in the anime, because when I went to get to read the manga, I just found where the anime left off and just continued reading from there. And two, I kind of want to build a little collection of manga in Japanese, of like a bunch of volume 1s of loads of different series. Even if I'd already watched the anime or read it in English or read it online with something like Bookwalker or something, it's just a little nerdy collection that I really would like to nurture. Anywho, it came as no surprise that I really enjoyed the story. As I said, I knew the story from the anime and it is a really good adaptation. Season 1 is a good adaptation. Season 2 can go suck a dick. While knowing the story really helped with my comprehension while reading this, I do think I kind of benefited from the fact that I hadn't read it before in English, because it kind of felt like I wasn't quite covering the same ground. Even though I had watched it, it didn't feel like I was just doing the exact same thing. Yeah, that makes sense, right? I particularly enjoyed the illustrations in this one. I know the benefit of manga is that you can take your time and pay attention to the artwork and perhaps notice little details that are maybe easy to miss in the anime. And in this story, I really appreciated it when it came to the artwork of Mama. I won't go into too much detail in case you haven't watched or read it yet, but Mama is the grown-up who raises and looks after the main cast of children. They live in an orphanage, which is the story's main setting. With the artwork, Mama is shown as being both such a loving and caring parental figure, and then in another panel, she is scary and very intimidating. It's great and I love it. Japanese time! At my level, I found this both easy and difficult. Okay? The manga is dialogue heavy. The first arc, which doesn't end in the first volume, isn't very action-y. That comes later on in the series. And so this has characters doing a lot of talking and thinking and plotting and all that jazz. It resulted for me in having, I would go through some panels with such ease. I would go through, say, 4 or 5 panels, and I'd go through them so smoothly, so quickly. I was like, yeah, I'm reading and I'm understanding, and I was so full of confidence, yeah. And then that would just stop. That would just stop immediately. I would immediately hit a brick wall, and I would just, the next whole page, I would just struggle for each and every word, it felt like. Knowing the story beforehand really helped. It really helped. It kind of meant that if I looked up one word, I would automatically kind of know how that word fit into the plot, if that makes sense. I knew what was kind of happening, so with knowing just 1 or 2 words in someone's dialogue, I could kind of figure out, I think they're chatting about this or chatting about that or referencing this. And I think that really did kind of help a lot. I probably would have taken a bit longer if I had no idea what this story was about before heading into it. I feel like this would be a really good volume to go back to revisit, basically. Having a better grasp of the language, I think, will make me really appreciate this more dialogue-focused storyline a lot better. I think I'll get a little bit more out of it. However, I still really enjoyed it, even at my low level now, and I'm really pleased that this has a little home on my shelf. If you have read it in English or Japanese, please do feel free to let me know what you thought of it. And if you have read it in Japanese, please do feel free to let me know how you felt going through it as a learner of Japanese. What level were you at? Like maybe if you were an advanced level going through it, or more down the beginner side with me, please do let me know. I would love to be nosy into your Japanese. I'm always saying that, but it's true. It's time for me to put The Promised Neverland back onto my shelf and for me to say goodbye for now. I will hopefully be back soon with another video. So until then, happy reading. Bye!